Well, welcome back. We're working on how to build a value-added board. And I want to start by making sure you understand that this is not an easy job. If you think about the publicly traded realm, think about Enron, for example, as a complete failure of a board. WorldCom, Adelphia, Health South in Europe, Parmalat. A lot of companies around the world really went out of business because of an inability of the board of directors to oversee competitively and, I think, competently the ongoing affairs of the business. A decade later, we hit the global financial crisis. 15 global banks, each with 15 directors with impeccable resumes, wrote off about $2 trillion in shareholder value. Where were their boards? Where were their boards of directors? How come none of them picked up the risks inherent in some of the products that they were selling? And when you think more recently, modern catastrophes like the Boeing and 737 MAX, two planes crash, hundreds of lives lost, and apparently within the company there was a clash of cultures between those who were on the sales and marketing side and those who were on the engineering and safety side. A trade-off between people and profits. No one on that board apparently got that trade-off until ex post afterwards. And since then, of course, there have been huge changes in the governance structures at Boeing. And Theranos, I mean, a board of directors who is the who's who of America. Henry Kissinger, amazing. Mattis, the serving general in the U.S. Army, who invested in the company as well as tried to get himself tested with it. So Theranos has disappeared, and the leader, founder, and entrepreneur who created it is in court right now being tried for fraud. So all of these catastrophes in 2000, in 2010, and more recently in 2020-21 tell you that there's something really hard about being an effective board of directors. It's a very hard job, and it's very easy, apparently, to fail. And these are only the largest ones that we see, not the smaller ones that just disappear from sight under the ocean. So what are the jobs of a board? What are the fundamental things that directors ought to be doing? And I characterize that in 3 lines of sight: hindsight, oversight, and foresight. Hindsight being looking in the rearview mirror, think the audit committee, the accounts, the compliance reports to the regulatory authorities, reports out to the shareholders on a regular basis. That's the hindsight stuff. Oversight, hey, we said we were going to be in Las Vegas and we're in Seattle. What happened? Is there something wrong? Something changed competitively? Did we fail to execute properly? Is it strategy or operations? I don't know. But we have oversight over the company. We give approvals to various matters at certain levels. All companies, for example, have levels of capital expenditure that management can do without consulting the board, but above that, the board must approve. I don't know whether the number in your case is 1 million, 5 million, but some of them go up in some of the pension funds as much as 500 million before they have to go to the board. Sounds like it's a lot of money. So you've got those kinds of things, and then I think there's a responsibility and oversight to understand the true operating culture of the corporation, and I doubt you're going to get that around the boardroom table in a large publicly traded company. It's very difficult to understand what's going on operationally at the level of operational intensity if you're sitting at the board. Board members typically eat what they're fed, and so I think it's essential that if you're going to be an effective director and hopefully an effective board adding value, you're out in the field as well as in the boardroom. And thirdly, foresight is working with management on the strategy. It's sort of where do we want to go when we grow up, and who's going to get us there, the talent. So hindsight, rear view mirror, oversight, where are we today, and is that strategic or operational? And foresight, where do we want to be when we grow up, and who's going to get us there? And I think those 3 lines of sight combine into a compliance and policing mode and a value-adding mode. And many boards are pretty good at compliance and policing, but not very good at value-adding. So in the next modules, we're going to start talking about, so you can work on how to create a value-added board by helping them add value either through strategy or talent management.